Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a reading vlog. I have no idea how long we're going to be reading for. I'm just going to keep filming and we'll see how much we can read together. I am currently in the middle of two of the books, well, one of the books that I picked out of my TBR jar for September and another which I happened to start reading or start listening to because I got the Libby hold through. That book is Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wang. I'm actually really enjoying this. I'm currently at the start of chapter 5, which is, I think, 80 pages. I'm actually really enjoying this and this is the one that I'm picking up the most at the moment, so I think I'm probably going to focus on finishing this one first and then maybe go into my Kindle read, but we'll see. 80 pages in. At the moment, this is sort of reading, like, if anybody's read Silvercloak, it kind of reads a little bit like that to me in the way that the world is set up, in that it's kind of based on, at the moment from what I can grasp, like scholars and there's mages and there's magic, but the magic seems quite complicated and quite mathematical and very precise. And so I'm liking that element of, it's not just like with the Silvercloak it was a wand and you know, that kind of thing. It's not like that. If just for some reason it's giving me those kinds of vibes. And then there was a random chapter at the beginning with one person who I assume is going to kind of get integrated into the story somehow. I'm guessing that it might end up being like the male main character. However, I'm not quite seeing how the two different points of views are lining up. So I'm intrigued to see what happens with that one. And then can we just take a minute for my stunning new Kindle case. And then the other read is Kindling by Bonnie Woods. I'm currently at the beginning of chapter 6, so I'm 42 pages in. Haven't read a lot. Can't lie, I'm not really wanting to pick it up at the moment. It's not kind of grabbed me. The FMC is from Manchester and she's gone to Scotland. She was made redundant, she split up with her girlfriend and she is trying to escape because she wants to write her first novel, and from the second she gets there everything's just started going wrong. I think I've just not given it enough time and focus to be able to really get into the story. I do want to get more into this more, but at the moment I think Blood Over Brighthaven is just calling my name a little more. I'm not usually a 2 books at a time kind of person, however for some reason I have decided to kind of start doing that lately. I don't really think it works for me, but we'll see. My plan for today is to actually colour and listen to the audiobook. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to film this because I'll be doing TikTok live sprints whilst colouring and listening to my audiobook. No idea what the camera setup is going to be like, but I will try and film as much as I can and then I'll update you on how I get on with Blood Over Brighthaven once I have read a little bit more. Last night on TikTok Sprints, I read a decent chunk of Blood Over Brighthaven. I am now at chapter 10. I have a few things. First thing is the chapters are really long in this book. Now, up until now I've been audiobooking it, so I haven't really noticed an awful lot that the chapters have been really long. However, I think I am going to be reading this in physical for a little bit. I don't know how much I'm going to read this weekend because I am going up to my mum's. I'm going to spend the weekend with her and my sister. To celebrate my mum's 60th birthday, we are going for a spa day birthday tomorrow, so that's super excited, and then a nice meal. I'm not entirely sure how much I'll get to read. If I do manage to read, hopefully I will be able to show you my reading time up at home. If not, I'll be continuing on Monday. So far, I am starting to see now the connection between the MMC and the FMC from, I know I mentioned that the first chapter of the book was the male character, Tommel, and I'm now starting to see his involvement in the story, and there were quite a few moments where I was like, what? When I was reading it yesterday, like it's starting to get good. I'd say the magic system is quite complex in how it's set up, but it's explained really simply. It's enjoyable to read. You start to understand that more as she is explaining it throughout the book. It is starting to get, like, there's quite a lot of themes in here that I like. The mages primarily are male, and it's normal for females to take on a different role. Kind of reflects society, and I kind of like that undercurrent of message about, you know, women in life and, you know, unfair expectations on the jobs that women should have. And so she is ahead of the curve or trying to change the narrative, and I really like that. There are lots of aspects about this book that I'm really enjoying. I'm just waiting for it to sort of get to like a, oh my god, like I want to keep reading, like there's action happening left, right and centre point. I'm not sure if it's going to come or not. Hopefully it does. We shall see. But so far I am really enjoying it, and we shall see how far I get through whilst at home with my mum. Chapter 10 is page 173. I'll report back. But it is now Monday evening. The last time I spoke to you guys was Saturday morning. All I've done is I've gone to visit my mum, and I didn't get an awful lot of reading done other than listening to my audiobook on the drive there and back. I listened to Blood Over Brighthaven. I think I'm now on chapter 17, which, because it's got long chapters, I am 67% of the way through Blood Over Brighthaven, but I'm not going to be able to read that tonight. I just want to read on my Kindle, to be quite honest. So I'm gonna read Kindling in my room. I don't actually normally read in my bedroom at the minute because this is our temporary room. This is essentially just a box room that only has a bed in because our current room is being plastered. I'll give you a sneak peek of that. But yeah, I'm gonna sit down and read. I have a stressful day tomorrow at work. Super busy, so I'll probably, again, only get time to listen to my audiobook. But Blood Over Brighthaven is great so far. Like, I'm really enjoying it. There was one bit where I was like, oh my god, I figured it out. I figured it out before they revealed the revelation in the book. And I was like, yes, yes. So I am really enjoying that. Kindling, I think I'm up to 90 pages now, but I am kind of struggling to get into this, but I think it is because I am just picking it up here and there. I need to actually sit down and read it properly. So I'm hoping that this time now, I'll get into it, baby. Let's see. This is a little sneak peek of our bedroom. We've just had the electrics done and it's just been plastered, so it is waiting for us to do the next bit. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it won't be long until we're back in here, but let's go get some reading done. I have been a failure at keeping you guys updated so far this week. I feel like I can't even remember what day I started this vlog. It was a really long time ago, it feels, and I really haven't done much reading. I actually track all my reading in my reading journal, and as you can see, these are the books. So we've got green is Blood Over Brighthaven and orange is Kindling, and they're the books that I've been reading on this reading vlog. As you can see, I've been reading them for a really long time in small amounts, and the majority of Blood Over Brighthaven has been on audiobook in the car because I've been doing a lot of driving this week. Been going to and from work and been extremely stressful with a migraine, hence the glasses. Haven't been doing so great, but I'm thinking of sitting down and reading tonight if I can. I don't have much time left because it is 7 p.m. It is what it is. Anyway, I finished Blood Over Brighthaven. So let's talk about this book because I really enjoyed this. I rate this 4.5 stars in the end. I think there was just something missing for me to be able to give it the extra half star, but it was an excellent book, like excellent. I think the originality, so I made a few notes. Because I wanted to make sure that I got this spot on for you guys. To me, this book felt really fresh and original. I have not read a book like this in concept before. The magic system was so unique in that it wasn't a quickly accessed magic system, if that made sense. Like, there were conduits or there were aspects of the magic where if you were really experienced, you could very much use it like like that. But most of the time a spell had to be thought out, it had to be mapped. You had to siphon from a source where you have to like know the geographical location of that source in order for you to then execute the spell. And there was like action spells and things like that, which sounds very complicated when I explain it, but actually the way it's explained and thought through in the book, it's not complicated to follow. But I thought it was very unique that it was something that had to be thought out and had a lot of kind of like intelligence behind it. And I think that is where I really enjoyed the next aspect of the book, which was about inequality and how mages normally are men and not women. Women are seen as being too emotional and like they can't handle the power and the everything that comes along with being a mage. And so obviously Siona is the first female mage, or high mage, and I liked how it was done. But that didn't feel like in your face as you were reading it. It wasn't like, you know, just slapped around the face with that kind of theme. It was very good in how it went about that. And then also there are a group of people called the Quen who are seen as lesser people because of the location in which they grow up, and they're kind of used as servants, and they're not seen as being intelligent enough to be a Terranian or, you know, a mage or anything like that. And there is this definite kind of undercurrent of inequality throughout here that I really enjoyed. This is definitely fantasy, a YA fantasy with kind of like a slight sprinkle of romantic interest, but it's like very much like as small as you can get without there being none. I really enjoyed it. It was very easy to follow, very easy to read, and I highly recommend listening to the audiobook if you have. It's available. I listened to mine through Libby. So yeah, I really enjoyed this, and I highly recommend that you read it if you haven't already. We then have Kindling. Now, where did I get up to the other day? I did write a note in my notes. I think the other night when I read in bed, I read from 27% to 33%, so I read 6%. Now, I just really couldn't get into this book. Like, it wasn't bad. But there was nothing that was like gripping me and wanting me to carry on. There was very much this kind of relationship that I wasn't invested in because I hadn't got to know the characters. I just wasn't feeling the tension or the connection or the chemistry, whatever you want to call it, between them. And so it was just a bit cringy, and I just thought, I have too many books to read this month for me to waste my time reading this book. I have DNF'd this at 33%. I could say it's a soft DNF, but I won't lie to you, I probably will never come back to this book. It might be great, I just have way too much that I want to read. So, she out. That brings me to what I'm going to read next. I have quite a few things on my TBR. However, I am having to be very specific about what I want to read on the vlog. I really want to read Atmosphere. However, it's book club book, and first of all, I need to read it on a completely separate vlog because that is exclusive to my Patreon members only. And I also don't want to read it too far in advance of the call or live that we're going to have to discuss it, because I want it to be fresh in my memory. Does that make sense? I did recently do a TikTok video asking for people to choose my next read out of two options, and those two options were Manacled and Direbound. Cringy. Have two really big fantasies. But we have, I think it was 7, 8, 9, I think it's like 10 votes for Direbound, 1 vote for Manacled. So I'm pretty sure that it goes without saying that the next book I will be reading is Direbound. Let's grab it. It's actually just here. Now, I don't know if anybody else can relate to this. Obviously, I have very many physical books. I can't lie and say that I don't. However, at the moment, I am very much Kindle girly, and I just really despise the thought of having to read a physical book. But I might try and read the physical book for a little bit. My only thing is I don't want to get it dirty, because look how pretty the actual book is. I got the grey one with the rose gold. But yeah, I obviously won't be reading with the dust jacket, because I always, when I'm reading, I always ruin the bottom. I like to not read with that on. But then on the flip side, I don't want to get my greasy paws over this, which is what's making me think I should Kindle read it. So yeah, either way, you're gonna see me reading this or the Kindle version at some point. But my next read is Direbound, and I'm so excited. It is a chunky book, really chunky, and it's looking like it's 596 pages. But I've heard really good things, and I can't wait to get into it. Let's start it. explain? Like, what is this contraption by my foot? It's okay, Daddy. It's okay, Daddy. Failure with reading this week. However, I've been listening to my audiobook and I did just start sprints to start reading Direbound, which you'll have just seen. Say hello to TikTok. TikTok, say hello to everyone on YouTube. Hello! But I have given up because I'm just not in the right place to read. So I am going to listen to my audiobook and edit the first part of the vlog. Everyone's saying hello. Say hi. I love how everyone is going to be like being like, oh, it's me when you watch it. I love that. But yeah, so that's the plan, and then we'll see where I'm up to then. Struggling lately with reading. This past week or so, it's like I just don't want to read. I love an audiobook, I just don't want to physically read something, and I don't know if it's because of my current mental state or I don't know, but I have a lot of things going on in my brain at the moment and I'm just not able to kind of make space to be able to concentrate on anything for a really long time. So generally audiobooking is better because I can do other things, keep my brain occupied while I'm listening, and that kind of tickles something in my brain. But yeah, I haven't really been sitting down to read as such. I'm going to attempt to get some more of Direbound read today, but I'm not sure how much it's going to be. I am currently about 25% of the way through, and what I will say is I am actually really enjoying it. Once I've got into it, it's been great. I think it very much gives Fourth Wing vibes. Like, what people say is true, it very much gives Fourth Wing kind of vibes. And there's a series of, it's almost like there is an army who are fighting some kind of war. I'm not sure what war that is yet. And there are soldiers that want to go to the front that enlist, and the main character, why can't I remember her name? Merrin. That was it. The main character, Merrin, has decided to enlist because something happens. It's just something happens. And within that, there is a competition, not competition, that's the wrong word, a challenge that is done in order for them to bond with direwolves. And there's a series of challenges, and it is a bit like Fourth Wing in that, you know, in order to kind of graduate the school and become like an official direwolf. My words aren't words in today, but in order to do that, you have to go through a series of challenges, or what are they called? They're like, I don't fucking know what the word is. Trials! Oh my god, the word is trials. There is a series of trials that they must go through as raw bonds to cement their bond with their wolf in order to become a fully fledged, whatever it is called. Oh my god, this is horrendous, Ellie. But I will continue reading this for today, but I'm gonna have to end this vlog today because I need to edit this because it's going live tomorrow. So yeah. Direbound, let's get into it.